There are a few changes in the starting lineups for Argentina. Meanwhile, for Uruguay, you see those 4 stars? Well, they haven't won 4 cups because when they started winning world titles, the World Cup didn't exist. It was Uruguay's dominance that created the World Cup back near the turn of the last century. And in fact, there is some talk that they could put in a bid, perhaps with Argentina, and might be awarded the anniversary World Cup for 2030. So for the moment, though, they are rivals. Celso Otero checking the watch next to his longtime boss, Oscar Washington Tabárez, El Decano, the dean of, I would say, South American coaches, but arguably world coaches. Phil Shane, Ray Hudson with you. And Ray, he's forgotten more than I think we ever knew.
Magnificent it is, Phil. From a country that has a population of just over 3 million, what Uruguay produce and what they have produced under the phenomenal magnificence of Tabárez. He cuts his coat according to his cloth. He doesn't deviate away from it. This is a solid counter-attacking team, whereas Argentina, they've had 8 managerial changes since 2006. Tabárez, he's been there at the helm for over 13 years. So he's got his walking stick, and he certainly carries the proverbial big stick in Uruguayan football. 16th job now. His last club team was Boca Juniors, of course. He's 72-year-old, Phil, and should be celebrated in every tournament and every game that he shows up on. Just done a phenomenal job with Uruguay. But for Argentina, under their new boss, Lionel Scaloni, things are looking decidedly brighter. He's mixed, he's matched, he's rotated. He has that lad there, the great Argentine, and you can see what it means to the kids from around Tel Aviv. They cannot believe their eyes. They're out on stalks and they actually get to touch one of the gods of the game.
Diego Godin going over, smile on his face.
Great stuff.
Probably just because he knows he doesn't have to go up against him for Atletico anymore. And of course, his Uruguayan front line mate, Luis Suarez, an enemy for the day. And you hear the anthems in the background.
This will be a good game for both teams, Phil. I think it'll be a tense match in many ways, and 2 contrasting styles of football, and it will be entertained unquestionably. Unfortunately, there's 1 or 2 big stars missing in action. One that I was looking forward to seeing is young Brian Rodriguez, who's been pulling the strings wonderfully with Bob Bradley's Los Angeles Football Club, and it's been a pleasure to watch him. Great addition to Major League Soccer.
Scored a goal against Hungary in the last time out.
Yeah, really showed up well.
And we might see him. He is on the bench here today for the Celeste. Smile on Cavani's face. Might be on the way out at PSG, but he's got a long future ahead of him with Uruguay. All the festivities before this one gets underway.
A great night for this population who all too seldom see the likes of these glittering array of footballers of the highest order and South American class coming out of their ear holes. And as I said, it will be a different team philosophy on either side. Lewis in the sky with Diamond Suarez taking on his best friend Lionel Messi, and you know what, they'll both have daggers in between their teeth staring each other down. And pitch looks as if it's been nicely kept, a little bit on the long side, but that should suit Uruguay in certain regards. But certainly it's a wonderful night for the people of Tel Aviv. And, the kids in that tunnel was the highlight of the show so far. Absolutely wonderful. Nice mix and match from both changes, as you said, Phil. Some mild rotations, not heavily. Of course, Agüero stepping in here today for a player who was certainly spectacular and leading the line with Lionel Messi last time out. Lautaro Martinez rested tonight.
ועכשיו גבירותיי ורבותיי, אנחנו עם ההמנונים המוניים של שתי הנבחרות ותחילה ההמנון של אורוגוואי.
One size fits all.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthems of both national teams, and we start with the national anthem of Uruguay.
Gorgeous sounds coming from the speakers, but now it's the fans' turn. And the entourage heading towards the sidelines as the players ready to put on a show of their own. Diego Godin moving over to Serie A, continuing his stellar career with Inter. of renewing his rivalry with Messi and company. Taking a look at the starting lineup on this River Plate Classic. Andrada in there again, much the same lineup that went against Brazil, but for the insertion of Renzo Saravia out on that right flank. Paulo, Dybala and Sergio Agüero in the attack. And it will be really interesting to see how Agüero, Dybala and Messi all combine. It has been oil and water in recent memory, but Lionel Scaloni seems to have a bit of the Midas touch on the other side. A few changes for Uruguay from their last lineup. Coates will be on that back line with Godin. Cavani and Suarez, of course, up front. And it's the Santos Laguna midfielder Brian Lozano looking to pull a few strings next to the River Plate man, Fede Valverde. 72-year-old Oscar Washington Tavares going up against the still wet behind the ears Lionel Scaloni, at least when it comes to managing this team. Roi Reinshreiber, the man with the whistle here today. Devir Shimon, David Biton will run the lines. Galivovic is the fourth official.
Okay, guys, mix photo, guys, mix photo.
And one more photo to take for the scrapbook as they come together. 62 degrees as we approach kickoff. Mostly clear skies and a beautiful night on a beautiful stadium that was just renovated and pretty much just finished with that renovation. In some ways, this is a kickoff match, even though it does host Maccabi Hapoel and Bnei Yehuda in the local leagues.
Well, wonderful night, as you see, Phil, and a spectacular picture, and of a little bit of peace, love and understanding between the two countries. And if only it was that way in this beleaguered country. The game, of course, has been threatened for weeks because of the military action in the Gaza Strip, but nothing wrong with a bit of peace, love and understanding, as Elvis Costello said. Phil?
There, a look at the benches, and as you pointed out, be interested to see LAFC's Brian Rodriguez and Maxi Gomez, of course, looking to try and lay his claim if Luis Suarez and Edinson Cavani would ever let go. You know, Messi has been back to full health for Barcelona and back after suspension with Argentina.
Shouting off to Leo, hey, where's the mate?
Roi Reinshreiber, the referee here today, checking with the sideline. Cavani probably remembers going up against Lionel Scaloni, but now Scaloni trying to put the pieces of the puzzle in to slow down that dynamic duo up front. Phil Shane and Ray Hudson with you. The River Plate Derby going across the ocean. Alejandro Figueroa. Bounce around with the sap button, if you will, but stick on the couch for a couple of hours. Could be quite interesting. It is Argentina in the blue and pushing forward in the white Uruguay from right to left. A flip into the middle. Lozano trying to pull it down, but the Mexican-based midfielder down in a heap.
Well, that's a good indicator of what's to come from this referee. There was no foul. There was a little bit of contact, and sometimes all too often forget that it's a contact sport and not ballet school, senor.
Thing to keep an eye on for Argentina. I'll leave it for you because you're used to looking through kaleidoscopes. The number 10, the number 21, and the number 9. Do they get in each other's way, or do they complement each other tonight?
Yeah, nice different fold to look at for sure. And it's never been Argentina's problem, has it? Getting those sorts of players and those sorts of players to play well together at this defensively. And remember the 2014 World Cup where Argentina was so unlucky against the German national team, in my opinion, without Agüero, without Di Maria. They still ran the Germans down to the last baby's breath in what would have been Leo's World Cup. Not to be. Lovely touch. Tagliafico been playing so well for club and country. Big part of Scaloni's team. And this man needs to shine a little bit as well today. He's been playing wonderful for Manchester City. Agüero. That's a lovely ball.
And for Agüero, tries to drop it, but parried away by Coates.
Sebastian Coates comes across as Tabarez knew he would. Sporting Lisbon man cutting that out. Lovely ball played in, right into stride for Agüero. Thought he was going to actually pull it back, but all cut off.
Look at Agüero. Third in the all-time scoring list. Batistuta sandwiched between he and Messi.
Hey.
Chipped in just over the head of Tagliafico, and here comes Uruguay on the break, but the pass out wide awry. And back
nice
to Andrada.
variation there by Scaloni's men. Marcos Acuña not playing in the best ball. Plenty of time and space to pick out his target. But early days, Argentina pushing the Charruas back. Big population difference between these two countries to pick the team out as well, Phil. 45 million for Argentina and 3.5 million for Uruguay.
Messi comes back and you hear the buzz. And just to give you an idea, Uruguay's population, 1/3 that of Israel. And you can see one team's won 4 World Cups. The other one, again, competing in Europe, a little bit harder to get there. Over to this near side. They have produced some pretty good talent along the way. Sloppy pass, but poked free. No chance for Valverde to run into that one. We were talking about this before the match, but Roi Reinshreiber, 39-year-old, very highly thought of referee, but not the only referee of note from Israel.
Going back to the old days when I was a footballer and the NASL, they imported some of the referees over, and Mr. Klein.
Abraham Klein.
Mr. Klein. You don't get on that, Lance, with a first name business. It was Mr. Klein, and Abraham Klein, as you say, Phil, one of the best referees in all world football. George Courtney was alongside of him in those days, but had to import referees into North America them days. It's a lot changed now with the advent and the improvement of Major League Soccer. Referees are doing a lot better again.
Roll back.
A little bit more of a subdued atmosphere compared to Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, where Argentina played Brazil and were victorious with 1-0 win thanks to Leo. But that place was rocking and rolling right from the first whistle, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. But by the way, getting into our quiz of the day, where would Messi be? Where would Agüero be? Where would Dybala be? The interesting thing is Messi's camped out wide on the right.
Oh, Leo!
Agüero on the left, and it's this man Dybala that's running the center channel.
Well, there's the big gasps. You can actually watch a game of football when Messi's playing, and you don't need to look at it to know when he's on the ball. The crowd will tell you.
Little slip in the middle. Here comes Godin. But his pocket picked nicely by Vecino. Forward for Messi. And the slide from Coates.
Coates just reaches out. Leo lets this ball run a little bit past him, thinking that Guates might back off, but Guates read him like a nursery rhyme book. Good intervention by the sporting man again.
A gift for Cavani, as you pointed out, things a bit sloppy, even that second gasp. Threw it out to midfield and up steps Viña.
You've got to sing the praises of Arturo Martinez, though, Phil. He's not on the action here at the start tonight, but what a phenomenal performance he put up against Brazil. Gets a well-earned rest, as he really poured himself into that game. He was so impressive, the Internazionale man, in my eyes.
Did everything but score.
He was magnificent. And it's a different type of player for Messi and the rest of this midfield to get involved with. It's a totally different kettle of sharks, and the likes of Kun Agüero, a wonderfully gifted player in his own style, as La Jolla is. A wonderful little jewel that plays his football for the Zebras in Turin.
Get back to Martinez in a moment, but the one thing, you talked about the different styles. I would say the closest you can see with Lautaro Martinez is maybe a Batistuta style. The problem with Dybala is he's too much like Messi.
Messi seeing that the air pressure in the ball isn't quite right, and players of his ilk can tell. There's a great story about Kenny Dalglish, and then he was taking free kicks. He scored 3 out of 4, and then the fourth one, he says the ball's not right. They went and checked the pressure in the ball, and it was like 5 pounds under. He was right.
I think Messi measures by the molecule. 9th minute, driven in, deflected back rather than towards the goal. Opens the door for Uruguay on the break. Suarez camped out far side. In for Vecino. Strong challenge, maybe a little too strong. Saravia over on that far flank.
Decent challenge, nothing cynical about it. This is a good referee again in his management and the way he's going about it. Certainly a foul.
He's not immune from controversy though, Reinshreiber. Off to Lozano, but too far afield. Talk about some of the great referees. One of the greatest players, maybe the greatest Israeli you have never heard of, Aaron Zahavi, who's still playing in China right now. Had a little Cantona moment after a fan invasion. And Reinshreiber, despite the resume, pulled out the red card and threw him off. Near side into the stands, and Viña not happy with that clearance. Beautiful stadium, built in 1962. Fancy footwork from Saravia, but forgot something along the way.
Well, it's a rather unexotic name for this area, the Bloomfield Stadium. It's got its roots in Canada.
Well, the Bloomfield family in Montreal, who have been involved in a lot of the growth of Israel from the start of the nation.
Fantastic.
Throwing in some money on the sporting side as well.
Oh, but some hockey.
Down the line it goes, and that one out for the Argentine throw. Holds just under 30,000. Natural grass surface. As mentioned, just finishing back in August, a 3-year renovation. Down in a heap goes Cavani as he actually make that Dybala as he got stepped on. Side for Rodrigo de Paul, getting his 2nd straight start, the Udinese midfielder.
Quality on the bench on both these teams as well, Phil, waiting and itching to get in. I haven't seen McAllister, who's been wonderful for Boca Juniors. That's a peach of a pass from Leo.
Nodded down for Agüero, just inside the 18. No score, no real chances yet for either team through this opening dozen minutes. Pezzella getting the starting nod from Escaloni in both of these matches. You might say, well, it's just a friendly, but against Brazil and Uruguay, you have to read something into that.
And certainly still back-to-back games for Argentina up against their eternal enemy, Brazil, and Uruguay connection has always been a historically big battle. Look out.
Agüero into the middle, the trailing run, Dybala, but a little bobble allows Godin to pounce.
Wonderful play from Nicolás again out wide, picking up the right pass, and the player in space. Beautiful. And Dybala shot in the Charrua style, suffocated. Predominantly playing on the front foot here, Argentina, and pinning Uruguay back. That's another great ball.
Agüero again wide. Dybala makes the run, leaving a path for Messi. Almost sneaks it in. Good work by Cáceres. 98th cap for the Fiorentina defender, and he's off to the races.
Good break.
Suarez in front. Switches field for Cavani. Just getting there, Pezzella. Lozano brings it down. Out for Vecino, and a squibbed shot grabbed up by Andrada.
Well, Vecino fails to see it was Suarez making a great run after playing that wonderful pass into Cavani's area. Underrated passer of the ball, Luis Suarez. That's a typical Uruguay attack, winning the ball deep and then wonderful running off the ball and great support up front. Lucas Torreira getting his start today. Your Arsenal lads, Phil.
Slotting in almost a Javier Mascherano role for Uruguay. Long time and still cap king for Argentina.
Ball, that is.
Dybala finding Messi, keeps
Magic.
it alive, gets it back, has Agüero, the shot blocked.
Well, this is Dybala at his best. He'll take the close-ups and he'll take the... Look at this ball. Splits the line, splits the staggered players in front of him. Great vision from the jewel, La Joya. Passes it off to the magic man. Just cannot rein that one in as it dances away from him. He uses Marcos Acuña for the give and go, and then the deflection takes it away. Or that might have been challenging for Campagna in between the sticks for Uruguay.
Corner kick will swing in towards Campagna. Muslera, the long-time goalkeeper for Uruguay, is available on the bench, but they're giving Campagna the chance. And here a bit of a concern. It was Coates who threw his body in front to block Messi on that shot.
I love that attack there, the way it was triggered by his visionary players, and then the hocus pocus comes out from you-know-who, of course. And as you say, Phil, it was a brave effort to get to this. Messi wriggling through, slipperier than an eel covered in Vaseline. And right here you see the stretch, and he's paid for it.
Getting up, but gingerly. Remember seeing him as a teenager coming up through Nacional. Coates never quite gets the recognition, but now over at Sporting, I think he's starting to.
Yeah, the peak of his footballing powers at 29-year-old, but it looks like it might be done for the night. Might have just felt something in the stretch.
As he lifted that leg to make the block.
Number 10 to step up to the plate and take a strike here.
Well, we're going to have to make a switch, and Uruguay already loosening it up. It's going to be Giovanni Gonzalez. Gonzalez is going to slide in at right back, and Cáceres will go to his converted right center back position. So 32-year-old veteran from Fiorentina slides in. Well, the youngster stepping in the 25-year-old from Peñarol, making his 8th appearance. Whips into the area, headed away by Viña.
From the corner kick.
Scamper back by Pezzella. Tacitus's Viola teammate. Andrada maybe a little overconfident with his foot skills, but beautiful. Argentina comes away. Wide Lozano. Lofting it in. Andrada stays back. Looking long down the flank.
It's a weapon. What a ball!
Drops in for Agüero. 1v3. A late run from Messi.
Oh.
And maybe off the back of the charging Acuña.
Oh, what a ball. What an absolute treasure of a pass from Esteban Andrada. The Boca Junior man, that sidewinder man, absolutely lethal. And Agüero not making enough of that advantage there. As you said, Phil, he's got Acuña and Messi. Just a little bit slow in recognising the run in support from Lionel. But beautifully set up by the Boca Juniors goalkeeper. What a pass.
Here they come again, Dybala. Well, so far in the opening 18 minutes, he has been involved. A nice little deke by Saravia into the 18. Does it again, drives it across, and Tacitus clears. Out for Cavani. Tripped up, advantage played. Now it's Vecino who's down, and they will bring it back. A talking to and maybe more. Cavani still in pain.
Beautiful attack engineered by Dybala and Saravia there down that right side. And here you see that's cynical, and that should be a yellow card.
Again, the fitness and physique of Cavani.
Wonderfully sharp. A great start this from, I would say, both teams. Argentina certainly showing plenty of fangs about their approach. And Argentina being shut down by, as always, a good solid defence. But there are spaces there for Dybala to exploit.
Arguing his case, Vecino, but he's not going to win. Dybala very active here.
Babyface, 26-year-old now.
Only 6 years younger than Messi. Saravia. Fewest caps of anyone but the goalkeeper for Argentina tonight.
Both teams coming in after good wins. And they haven't been beat either side since the major tournament when Brazil were champions.
Just going to mention that in a moment. A little burst of speed into the middle, past Andrada. Viña creating. Suarez giving chase. Andrada trying to get there.
Fantastic play here for the Nacional man. He links up with the man who started his football at Nacional. A wonderful connection by Matías Viña. Little kiss off, and Viña's in. And it's a beautiful cutback, and that one is on its way to the back of the net, possibly by Suarez. It takes a little bit of a heel touch on its way in, but that's typical. And they are like a viper, man. They will jump out and draw blood. Wonderful play from Uruguay in a different setup, different approach entirely, and it's still equally admirable in their approach.
Suarez livid at the foul call, and I think he had an argument. It looked shoulder to shoulder, but you know, they always give the benefit of the doubt to the goalkeepers. Nice little flick off by Cavani. Suarez trying the outside of the boot, but blocked. So first true chance coming for Uruguay.
Only his 6th appearance for the national team from Matthias Wiener, 22-year-old, so
Faster than he looks.
certainly skillful.
Now the other way, Saravia.
Good ball. Good defending.
For Dybala. Threads it through. Nice little block by Paredes. Messi in and out of the phone booth. And he does it again. Into the 18. Deflected wide. Looking. Trying for Dybala, but blocked by Cáceres.
Again, the gasps and the oohs and the ahs and the disbelief for Lionel as his name gets echoed around the stadium again. I thought he'd actually lost possession a couple of times in that little salvo. That's got to be a call.
There's Pezzella grabbing a jersey a little too early.
He's kept the yellow peril inside of his pocket for long enough now, 22 minutes in, and he's still trying to handle it and not, but that one, Cavani's got axe to grind, doesn't he? And I think the next one will certainly be presented with that smiling yellow.
The fine line. It is a friendly, it is an exhibition. You don't want to card yourself into a corner, but you can't encourage the foul play either. Trickles across, throw in Argentina.
Yeah, I think the message is over now.
By the way, he talked about what's been going on with Uruguay. If they can avoid defeat here today, Godin just getting rid of it, they will go unbeaten in 2019. So far, 8 wins and 4 draws. Now Scaloni, without Messi most of the time, since he's taken over, 14 wins, 4 draws, and just 2 losses in a 3rd place finish in the Copa America. The unsung Scaloni might just be the manager they've been looking for.
Well, he'll certainly have plenty of praise towards his old boss, Sampaoli, of course. He was the assistant at Sevilla with him and with the national team.
Nice defense, Otamendi, who's been pulled out of mothballs. Sano. Asvinia again. Tries to take it himself, and he'll get a corner for his efforts.
Comes close to it as well. Saravia just getting in the way. Just visiting. Well, an inflation situation. Again, it's not liking the pressure of these balls.
It might be one of those situations because the temperature falling close to 60, maybe, as the ball whipped in from the corner by Lozano to the back post and cleared away. As I think the New England Patriots argued, if you fill them indoors but bring them outdoors when it's colder, they tend to go a little flat. You don't buy it. Ball driven across by Lozano, but the whistle had already blown. One of those games.
There's another look at the hocus pocus, and the ball velcroed to his boots, and he'll still fight through. And he's going down, and he gets back up again. No break dancing in football, Leo.
As you like to say, if you go into a phone booth, come out with all the change. A little chip to the near side.
Distribution from the Boca Juniors goalkeeper, always available for an outlet as well, trying to play their way through this. Good pressure by Uruguay. Here again, Dybala just a little drop of stardust away from getting past that high energy press of Uruguay.
There's that starting goalkeeper spot for Argentina might be up for grabs. Sergio Romero, longtime holder of the gloves, has been a backup for his club team for nearly a decade, it seems. On the bench, the Arsenal product, Emir Martinez. Mostly Marchesín. Juan Musso also called up, while Geronimo Rui plying his trade at Montpellier. Nice dribble by Saravia. Tripped up by Vecino, says the referee.
With a player in for the starting job. That's good play.
Acuña wide. Tagliafico in, and it's Cáceres to the rescue again.
Well read on the slide. Need to get down and dirty to cut off that lovely ball from the Ajax man. Magic!
Agüero can't force it through. Credit to Godin this time. Camped out in the middle, pushing in is Saravia. Dribbles across, and Rodrigo to Paulo out wide. Into the middle, and swept away just before Saravia could get there. It's Viña to the rescue.
Great ball in from Udinese man out wide. Dybala is available, but wonderful play from DePaul to set this one up. This isn't just a slap in hope that somebody's inside the box. This is directed towards the dark blue shirt. Rattling the latch, Argentina, but Uruguay typically no way past them yet.
Hangs in the air, hand to the face, it appeared, but all over the back as well was Otamendi.
Certainly contentious, but he's doing it his way, and it is with his new club now. Atletico de Madrid, of course, Internazionale for the great Diego Godin.
Here's his former Atleti teammate, Agüero. Harassed Gonzalez, the substitute, whistled for the foul. A bit contentious. You sense there's more in it, emotional and skill, and probably goals.
Wonderful creativity from both teams in the different ways. Nothing there.
Pezzella might have gotten away with one, although the ref saying Lozano went down too easy.
Always Tagliafico available.
Agüero in. Dybala couldn't. Strong step in Torreira.
He's unlucky there. It's Agüero whose pass was just a couple of inches short from Dybala's wonderful run. Nice different exchange of positions between Dybala, Leo and El Kun.
Now, just his 8th cap. So new faces.
Again. Beautiful from Federico Valverde, replicating his wonderful skill. Real Madrid, that's a great pass if it holds.
Oh, almost. You could see it trying to grab. Sneaking in, Lozano. Score so far through this Argentina-Uruguay tilt. A little over 2 weeks' time. A draw for the Copa America upcoming. Cavani just off balance. Hesitated but couldn't get it through.
Pezzella stepping in nicely. He's done that a few times. A rock for Scaloni since he's been introduced to ex-River Plate man.
Mentioned the draw, of course, the Copa America in June of 2020. World Cup qualifying actually starts in March, and these two will see quite a bit of each other. A little hook on the tackle. And a foul called against Uruguay. Gonzalez pleading his innocence.
A lifetime, I thought it was a good tackle from the side. Take a look. Yeah, it's the trailing leg coming through that scissors through the back. That's a good tackle for me. But the follow through, Charrua tackle, that's for sure. No harm done for the other sporting player, Marcus Acuña. Great deal of hate for Argentina to direct this to.
It's near, flicked over.
Nice ball in, wasn't it? Nicely stung from Leandro Paredes, who's been in really good form for me since he left Boca Juniors for PSG, Phil. Young team coming together under Scaloni, really look as if they're on an uptick.
So swing away. Paredes in. Out comes Campagna.
Flapping like a one-armed winged albatross there. Big Martin, Independiente man, coming in for a chance. Just his 5th cap, is it? 6th cap?
5th. On the way. Looks as though CONMEBOL will go back yet again to the same World Cup qualifying, which means Argentina would start out against Ecuador and Paraguay. Uruguay against Bolivia and Colombia. Of course, it took 4 rounds before Argentina got their first win last time.
Good ball.
In better position now. Ball back.
And again, beautiful.
In, laid off. Cavani! It's beauty.
There's not just 2 passes here, Phil. This is brilliant football from Uruguay, who strike against the grain, against the odds, and against the regular flow of play, but they do it to Paredes' way. This is beautiful football. Pinpoint passing and clinical finish. But again, take a look at this. Beautiful support here at the back post is identified as a free man, Suarez, who puts it on a plate for Cavani. Lovely link-up play, and again, wonderful identifying. Lucas Torreira, the Arsenal man, picks that one out. That's a perfect, pixel-perfect pass, and stabbed home from El Matador. Wonderful ball, beautiful vision. Claims for an offside. I didn't see much of that offside, and he loves that. Magnificent from Oscar's men.
A lot of times for Barcelona, it's Messi running into those passes from Suarez. Part of his game he probably doesn't get a lot of credit for. Although the assists.
What a ball from Torreira, though, Phil. He had a number of options as well, downstairs and upstairs, but it was as much as the pass dictating the run from Suarez as much as anything. Wonderful identifying of the real danger area. And I'm sure that's something that is drilled into them by Paredes.
Torreira again. Credit as well, a tip of the cap to Brian Lozano, who is the player who had that little hesitation to find Torreira at the top of the box. As you pointed out, it was a couple of one-touches at the end, but it was the passes that built up to it. 1-0 Uruguay. Goal number 50 for Edinson Cavani. Behind only Luis Suarez.
They do it the hybrid way, don't they? Lean, clean, and pretty bloody lethal.
Argentina have not lost since falling against Brazil in the Copa America semifinals. As we mentioned, only 2 defeats since Scaloni took over. Talk about Uruguay being unbeaten through 2019. They were eliminated by Peru, but that was after a scoreless draw, which is the way it goes down. Peru advancing on penalties, but right now they're in front of Argentina, looking for their first Clásico win since 2013. Saravia Viña surging past.
Total focus on Uruguay's defending, and whoever they bring in, even the youngster Matias Viña, recognising of the runs, and these aren't just athletic players making those runs. Thanks to Dybala and Messi and Agüero. There's so much to contain there, but Uruguay just seems to produce those types of players that are locked with hard focus, hard-wired focus, Phil, that all meld together into unquestionably a defensive team, and yet they can produce that kaleidoscopic, penetrative football that we just saw engineer that opening goal. Wonderful. Nicely.
Surging forward, Rodrigo the foul. Well defended. Torreira saying it was, actually it's Lozano saying it was touched the other way. And Godin getting into the mix. Messi. Paredes. Spanked in, gets it back. Trying to come around.
Well played.
Drives in, Dybala, and he'll bury it, but it bounced up and hit him off the hand.
Yeah.
Argentina will argue, but this is coming back.
No, the tester as well. It plays the hand, and he's unlucky, Dybala, but he knows it. His fingers are still ringing. It's a swing and a miss. A beautiful setup here from Acuña, and right here you see the ricochet. Does it come off Godin? Let's take a look here. No.
And remember, with the new interpretation and instructions, all it needs to touch, intent doesn't matter, at least for the attackers. Pulled away, Dybala. Maybe his best performance in quite a while. Just 2 goals in now 29 games for Argentina, came close to number 3. Yellow card upcoming for Cavani. More for the mouth.
I didn't see this until late, and he doesn't like that. There's been a number, but referee's had enough. He's let this game settle down, but it's still got a lovely little broken bottle edge about it, doesn't it? It's just simmering under, and the pot is being kept on with its lid by this excellent ref.
Bump forces an errant pass. Agüero cuts back into the middle. Messi bumped as he shoots, still in danger, but Godin heads it away.
I think it's Torreira that just comes to the rescue for Uruguay.
Paredes.
It's that wonderful link up again by Agüero, showing some beautiful quicksilver feet and movement. And then it comes to Leo. I'm pretty sure it was Torreira that got in the way of the last strike from Leo.
Card coming out seemingly for persistent infringement against Paredes. First caution against Argentina. Uruguay in front. Cavani's goal in the 34th minute, the difference.
Some wonderful sparkling attack led by these 2 players for Argentina, and this one again right in front of the referee, clearly felt that.
9 fouls apiece, 3 shots apiece. Much of the game in the midfield.
Wonderful goal separating the 2 teams. Nothing capricious about it. Nothing slap and hope. It was coordinated.
Nothing Uruguay. 42nd minute approaching from Bloomfield Stadium in Tel Aviv. Beautiful conditions, gorgeous night.
Yeah, everything's been tremendous, right from the kids in the tunnel and been some wonderful pulsating game of football taking place. Uruguay doing it their way, Argentina still rattling the latch. I think an equaliser or even a go-ahead goal would have been on the docket before now, but look at this, what they've got to break down now, this Uruguay side. Look at that.
Lunge Valverde, but it rolls to Saravia. The Porto man retreats. Promise of an even more exciting second half awaits. Argentina probing for weakness, seeing if they could find an equalizer before the break. Nice little sneak to the inside. Messi taken down by Vecino. And a free kick just outside the 18.
A great run, and it's typical of Leo. And Cavani seeing some words that Leo doesn't like, but I think in replay we'll see. Doesn't get the ball, gets the player. It's close to getting the ball, very close, but Messi just too quick, and seeing Caceres coming across and maybe going down anyhow, but the foul was there.
Second caution against Uruguay. In recent weeks for Barcelona, he has scored 3 goals from about this distance. 69 goals in his career for the Albiceleste. Now a little over 20 yards away from goal number 70.
Well, all of those players in the wall have always seen, they've seen this too many times, and he's been in cracking form. This is a long way out.
Messi lifts, and over to grab it is Campagna.
Easy pickings this time for Martin.
Paredes. Field for Dybala. Long, a little too long. Out again comes Campagna, and he gets the touch as Acuña tries to lift him.
Doesn't have anything on the interior, so he's got to go for the spectacular rainbow over the top of Martin Campagna, who reads him nicely. No other option, really. Nearly got it over. Emerge from their possession so well, Uruguay. Never force anything, rely on the energy of the available players showing themselves, and they don't mind going 3 back to go this far forward. They'll fight tooth and nail for the pickups, but look out. Great touch.
Agüero's trying to sneak in. Messi leads to the swing and the miss. Scooped back towards Messi, but the angle was off by Rodrigo.
Wonderful setup by Messi as always. Finds De Paul. Not sure what Leo was asking him for. Maybe a flip over the top instead of trying to provide the daisy cutter downstairs. Starting to look really as if he's discovering his real match sharpness now, Messi, after the injuries he had at the start. Played Valverde.
Medin on his back. Not enough contact for a foul. Uruguay has that 1 minute of added time about ready to trickle away. Cleared by Campagna, who made things interesting just before the half. Dybala. Messi, tight control, seemed to be bumped, but the whistle will be for the break. 1-0 Uruguay. Goal number 50 for Cavani at the half.
Wonderful goal engineered by Lozano and Pereira and Suarez for Cavani. But Leo had been convened on by a wonderfully focused Uruguay defense, but wonderful tug-of-war game. It's just been decorated with fabulous football.
Fans making their way back. Moment to remember at the Bloomfield Stadium in Tel Aviv. I think the folks up in Montreal got their money's worth. And take a look as Edinson Cavani with a smile on his face and Messi with a little message. Two competitors, two world-class competitors. And they like the needle.
It was just a little bit of an insinuation from Cavani that Leo made more of that than what there was. But as you saw, the foul that we're talking about, there was definitely a clip, but he took an extra step and it looked as if he was going to be able to regain his balance and the ball was away from Messi. And I think that's why Cavani is having a bit of a chip at him, and it seemed to be all in good nature, nothing too edgy. But as you said, Phil, just sums up the competitive nature of this game. It'll be a big feather in the cap for Uruguay if they can hold on to this scoreline, but certainly Argentina have shown enough flair and really missing on that final opportunity to put the ball away, and that is down to a side that is cinder block tough and really very difficult to break down. They'll not have many more sterner tests to come up against Godin's men that have made their name and reputation on defence first. So an answer now for Agüero, Dybala and Messi, three wonderful locksmiths, but it's been Suarez that's been setting up his teammate for the go-ahead goal, and they have been wonderfully entertained. Some lovely sparkle in football from Argentina in particular, but certainly Uruguay have put together a wonderful movement, and it has been syncopated football.
Doesn't appear as though there are any changes. Has to be a big day. President of Israel looking in, and he's got to like what he sees. On the pitch, referee double checking. Everyone ready, and so are we. Beautiful night at Bloomfield Stadium. Second half underway. Argentina in the blue. Now moving from the right to the left, defending the goal, defending the lead towards the left, the white-clad Celeste of Uruguay. But an early ball from Messi, looking to unlock the door. An attempted cross that almost sails in.
Well, nice play down that right side, but Saravia just cannot get his angle adjusted quick enough to find Agüero, who was spraying in. A lovely ball from Lionel to lead him in stride, and maybe first time ball was the one that he should have pulled out of his hand for Acuña.
Blocking as it sails away. Mentioned heavy possession in favor of Argentina, but that pretty much Uruguay's game plan since Tavares took over. One of the most lethal counter-attacking teams with the likes of Suarez and Cavani, and of course going back to the days of Diego Forlan.
can't underestimate the genesis of that opening goal as well. That was produced by the Real Madrid player Federico Valverde. It was wonderfully accurate and visionary with his just a rapier pass. It led Lozano nicely, and then all the pieces just fell together beautifully. You saw the reaction from Oscar Tabares. Didn't need his stick.
72 years of age now is the Uruguayan maestro. If you wonder, it's not just age, but also suffering from Guillain-Barré syndrome. Back in 2016, the Federation came and said, well, we'll try and make sure it's a comfortable transition. He goes, what are you talking about? I can still manage. Needed to go through a wheelchair for a while, had the scooter, then he had the 2 crutches. Now he's down to 1 crutch. He's getting better as he gets older.
Now, these players love him down to a man, that's for sure. And he may not be the one that's putting out the cones anymore, but he's certainly the inspiration from the heart of Uruguay.
Had a brief stint in charge back in the late 80s, but as you pointed out, in charge for the last 13 years and counting. Argentina just looking for that perfect swirls, spins, dishes. Wanting it back is Paredes. Opportunistic defense by Viña. Hops in front, takes the foul. Gambles, but the experiments, if you will, are the 2 bosses. Agüero driving in, cuts to the middle, almost sneaks through, but Torreira pulls it away. The rebound shot from distance sails high.
Wonderful barreling squirrel on a telephone wire run by Agüero again, pushing that defensive line back, and somehow again the Charruas intervene at the last effort. That's all it takes. Put the spoke in the wheel.
There's Acuña.
Good play.
Sneaks it in. Messi couldn't quite get it down to take the shot. One of those experiments, along with Mati Viña on that left side, and I think Paredes has to like the way both of those players have responded.
Yeah.
Panya in goal for the most part has looked good. Gonzalez coming off the bench following the injury to Coates also has not been exposed. For Argentina, Andrada's looked very good as they continue to find their next goalkeeper.
I think the rhythm of the Argentine side as well. The possession game has gone in the way they've spread the game out, but they have been certainly threatening a number of opportunities compared with Uruguay. They've got the scoreline being what football is. You cannot say it's an unfair scoreline. It's just been a very, very closely contested game by, as we said in the preview, it would be 2 contrasting styles of team. There's nothing in between them that would say that this scoreline would stay the same.
Paredes with a lightning quick pass to Messi. Deflects, the ball finds Messi again. Chipping it in, and it just outruns Acuña. We'll get to the trident in a moment, but I guess the handle of that fork. None of them are really huge name players. Rodrigo, Paulo, Marcos Acuña, and Leandro Paredes, but you think they've done enough?
As you said, Phil, it's a mix of there's a heavy rotation, just one or two players to take a look at, and for Scaloni and Tabarez, it's what coaches do. They've got to have a look at these players ahead of the South American World Cup qualifying trek that is going to be over those nearly 3 years going to Qatar. They'll need a big squad to pick from, and there's been every indication that Argentina's got a good raft of players. Nicely.
Scything through is Godin.
Yeah.
Dybala goes down, and the card comes out.
Well, the ball's there for a split second, and then it's not. Does Godin get the ball? Doesn't seem to be. There you go. It's complete showing as well. Sliding in. If he gets a touch of the ball, probably no yellow card, but certainly dangerously.
Messi lines it up. 2 in the wall. Cavani and Suarez trying to figure out what they're supposed to mark. Teed up for the left footer, but from an angle should be a bit easier for Campagna. And about 35 yards out, Messi drives it, and he almost buried it back post inside Acuña. Deflected and headed clear. That one had no business being that close to goal. 35 yards out, and it forced a diving save. Acuña again. Still alive. Referee letting him play. They'll settle for the throw. People so influential during Ajax's European run last year, and they're at it again this year. Acuña, Tagliafico, the little heel flick. Pereira tracks it down. You look at the bench and mentioned Lucas Ocampos, who's been one of the standout stars in La Liga. Lo Celso now at Spurs and doing well. And I know one of the guys who you love seeing, the legacy from Boca Juniors, Alexis McAllister. He is available and on the bench, so not just a little competition for the 3 players that are out there. Now, as far as Messi, Dybala, and Agüero, all chipped forward for Cavani, and he'll let it carry. Saravia trying to turn it upfield and rides the challenge through. Actually dribbles past 2 more, and Dybala trying to slalom his way to the middle. Agüero couldn't get the touch.
Now it's sure if he was moving that well either. Agüero.
Smart by Cavani. Lozano, the diminutive winger, but an easy grab. Andrada.
And Lautaro Martinez, for me, Phil, has been a lot more different, entirely different types of players from Kun Agüero, and this is part of the whole never-ending problem for Argentina's coaches. Remember as well that Di Maria, Icardi, if that invite gets thrown to him by the time Qatar comes around, who knows?
And if Icardi keeps scoring, yeah.
The mix and blend, but they've certainly shown a definite trend upwards, unquestionably. And here's a player we've seen grow up in front of our eyes, a wonderful Laxalt.
Cavani will exit. This is going to shake things up just a little bit. Suarez would be the lone front runner. Laxalt can play as a wing-back on that left side. So do they move Viña up, or they put Laxalt in front of him? I wonder if it's also the caution for Cavani, but Suarez will stick around. Suarez only played about 45 minutes of the last game. And of note, Messi played all 90 minutes against Brazil. Does he play 90 against Uruguay as well?
Look at him, a magnificent footballer coming out. And rumors continue to swirl about his next destination, Cavani. Wherever it is, he will absolutely decorate it with his wonderful. He's not just a penalty box predator that was exemplified with his goal, but an all-round wonderful leader of the line, the energy, the desire, the passion, the touch, control, everything you want in a dagger man. Oh, what a ball that is if it finds a target.
Acuña giving chase, has to reach out and loses his balance.
Another player that's played well, Marcus Acuña, Portuguese-based lad, is really brought a lot to this fight for Argentina.
See, Dybala didn't quite have the shoe on straight. We talk about Lautaro Martinez, and it is a different style. We also have Lucas Alario. The youngster Nico Gonzalez was plying his trade at Stuttgart.
Good ball. Nearly. What a nice effort from Matthias Vecino to find Laxalt.
Approaching the 60th minute. Matthias Viña, probably one of the players who has lifted his spotlight just a little brighter tonight. Dybala, maybe only about 5 or 10 more minutes to make a mark. Put one in the net in the first half, but that's after swinging and missing and knocking the ball into his own hand, which negated the play.
Still had a good game. Not many bad players out there today for either team.
Long up the middle. Good cover by Gonzalez.
I like this ref. Saying that the linesman had a better look and saw nothing.
Back away Otamendi. Up steps Paredes. Now of the three, you know Messi is immutable. Agüero and Dybala, have they kind of pushed their names down the list a little bit? You know, you said it's been a good game for Dybala, but when it comes down to it, it's scoring goals.
Well, Arturo Martinez is a big gun as well.
Into the middle, but behind Agüero, the pass goes awry from Rodrigo to Paulo.
It's not like he's had a lot of chances either. Agüero was able to, but he's linking up. That's what I like about this newly invigorated Argentina side. Despite the scoreline, shown a lot. And Uruguay as well. They'll take a lot from this performance. There wasn't going to be a whole raft of goals in this game. Still feel as if there's one out there. Whichever team will be able to take advantage of that slip. There hasn't been too many. Been nicely meshed together team performances here, and the individuals have certainly shone.
A bit more confidence even than he had in the Arsenal midfielder with his performance tonight.
Yeah.
And And it wasn't just the pass that set up the goal.
No.
Paredes back. Has Otamendi repaired his reputation?
Well, he's certainly had some ups and downs in England, hasn't he? But he's been performing very well. Look out.
Nice touch, Dybala finding Messi. Again, Torreira sticks a boot in. Messi holding off Godin. Sneaks it in, but unable to bring it under control. Dybala. Acuña. Again. Trying to feed Messi. Off the hand, though, and a foul against Gonzalez.
I think it's going the other way. Seeing who's getting pulled here by Godin. Let's take a look.
We'll have to take the ref's word for it. Messi from an angle and a left footer to boot. It would take quite a bit to sneak a goal in from here, but we have 5 players inside the 18. Messi scoops it in. The header! Picture perfect!
Take a look!
Agüero at the goal!
And this understanding between the two of them before the ball is kicked. There's a look of love in between the eyes of Agüero and Messi here. I hope we see the build-up to this because the connection was there. The understanding was telepathic. Way before this, he knows exactly where the ball should be delivered, and it is brilliantly. Kun Agüero with a lovely glancing header, but the table set up magnificently by Leo. Again, way before the ball is even set up, the two of them were looking at each other. It's something obviously that they've been working on. They're roommates. I see you, I need you. And Kun Agüero answers with the equalising goal. Beautiful set-piece play that certainly Scaloni will take a lot of satisfaction, but the look between the two of them was what started the dominoes falling.
Suarez giving chase, Laxalt as well. 41st goal for Sergio Agüero, his 3rd this year.
Lovely touch.
And again, trailing only Messi and Gabriel Batistuta. Not bad company.
Great play.
Overlap is on. Here's Saravia. Now Paredes.
Nicely.
Give it go. Paredes
Magic.
dribbles his way into the box, but just can't pull it forward.
Wonderful play from Leandro here. Wriggling through. Still, this is a different angle, but you people with your fancy schmancy machines, if you take it back to just soon after the free kick was given, the two of them were looking at each other, saying, this is that moment, this is that moment. All it needed then was an exquisite ball and an even more exquisite header, and that was delivered.
And as good as Matias Viña has been for Uruguay, he was the one that was trying to mark Agüero unsuccessfully. Quick trigger, Messi out wide, back inside Saravia. Top of the box, Messi. Deflected just wide, and Agüero almost snuck in another one.
It's amazing how he gets this shot off. The ball drops to him way from high, and then this pass into the side netting nearly finds its way through, but the wasn't going to pull out. The challenge was coming hard at him, and it just took a deflection away from the inside of the post. It didn't miss by much anyhow. The touch to take it away from the upright of Campagna saved Uruguay there.
Give it across, headed down Pezzella, but a bit of a takedown. Acuña getting tangled with Godin. Midway through the second half, and it's a 1-1 game. We've talked about it. This, not even the intensity we have seen in other games, but as a friendly, many qualifiers pale in comparison around the globe. Hand comes out, and a free kick just outside the area as Suarez knocked down.
There was an incident in the first half where Godin was really driving his hand in with a lot more intention into the face of Otamendi than that one. But either way, the referee's got a full look at this one. In great position for Suarez. The Barcelona man can deliver the Wizard of Argentina that steps up to the fore for Barca. For Uruguay, this is Suarez's stand. This is his stage. And this one's going to be his blow towards the goal of Andrada.
Nico Dominguez coming in for a tiring Acuña.
Played well for Phil. Really showed up strong, active, involved, and exemplary performance for the sporting man.
Now the 21-year-old from Vélez stepping in for his 5th cap. He was also one of the bright spots off the bench late against Brazil. Suarez, all-time goal king for the Charrua. Look at the wall. 6 in it, and Suarez doesn't care! Over the wall, under the bar, Uruguay's back in front.
As good as you can get. And as I was saying, usually Leo eclipses him, but this time this is a supernova hit from the Super Charrua. He guides this heavenly. There's no answer to it. The wall is well lined up. Andrada grows his fingernails to get to this, and he can't. The power of the shot beats him. The wonderful placement is magnificent. The trajectory. Esteban does magnificently to get to this. You cannot blame the goalkeeper. The power is perfect. The placement absolutely exquisite to the nth degree. Paredes has seen it before in practice, and there, the leader. That is beautiful detonation from Suarezcito Suarez.
Smooth on that free kick as well. Now there's still time for Argentina. Gifted. Ferreira dispossessed by Paredes though.
The respect that Argentina showed the great number 9 is significant, and he still found a way over, bending it beautifully. The whip and the dip on it was really executed with malicious intent. Thing of beauty.
Through 4 defenders, finds Tagliafico. Just thinking back to a guy you used to man in shades of Stoichkov. Goes forward outside the 18, draws the foul, takes the free kick, celebrates the goal.
Good ball, nicely.
Messi.
It's in
for Agüero, but he can't keep the shot down.
Wow! Space, time, free as a bird in the park, goes for the first touch on the volley, but high, wide and ugly, fish up a tree finish. Cannot believe that one isn't bursting the net.
Quality on display here today, phenomenal, and there's still 20 minutes left.
The play.
Agüero, Tagliafico, blocked on the shot.
Great challenge this, comes sliding in. It's Gonzalez, the Argentina man, just wrapping up Tagliafico in the nick of time. His team was resurgent after that equaliser as well, and there's not more pernicious way to hit back than when a team is on the up and up, and Uruguay put them on the canvas again. The game.
Still more to come, hopefully. Mentioned McAllister to keep an eye on for Argentina. Brian Fernandez, the LAFC star, available on the bench for Uruguay. And the overlap. Nice by Rodrigo. All the way back.
Certainly one of the stars of that wonderful LAFC team was Brian Rodriguez. Send out congratulations again to Seattle for their triumph in Major League Soccer, led by Brian Schmetzer, Mr. Seattle himself. Good playoffs this year.
It was. Needed a few Cinderellas.
Yeah.
Nice for Messi. Agüero, but the substitute, Dominguez, not quite on the same page. Let's see if he's caught up on his reading here. Tagliafico. Someone else we have not mentioned is Christian Stuani, who had been scoring goals for fun for Girona, throwing his hat in the ring. Maxi Gomez as well. Although Uruguay with the lead at the moment and under pressure. Wide by Rodrigo. Udinese man gets it back. Shots to 4. Argentina leads there, but they trail on the scoreboard. Pereira just finds a way. Hard pass that Dybala takes the steam out of. Wide for Saravia. In for Messi. Quick cut. Flicks it in, but Dybala had already taken off. Dominguez gets it back, making up for his earlier miscue.
It's an amazing turn there by Messi with the ball. Sent his shadow the wrong way. Godin went with him.
Otamendi. Paredes. Saravia. Uruguay bunkering in at the moment. Messi camped out in the center of that defensive bunker. Can they find him? Short pass. Dybala just inches wide.
Tries to steer this one home. It took a little touch away, else this one could have been the equaliser again. On Campagna, as you say, pushing it wide with his eyes, but it was the deflection. It was the reason. It's not kissing the upright and nestling in the back of the net. Wonderful effort.
A couple of changes on each side, and here is the man, Lautaro Martinez, ready to check in for Argentina, but it's Rodrigo Betancourt, the big midfielder, giving Fede Valverde a break. Two very promising players for Uruguay's future. Now, who comes out for Lautaro? Agüero found the net. Dybala has still been active. You're not going to pull Messi. Now Livac punching the numbers in. We'll have to wait till after the corner. Dybala into the 6, chested down, but Pezzella couldn't bring it under control.
So unlucky. It's Otamendi that's coming in on the first steam.
And it will be Dybala who exits. So this will be a change. He doesn't score, although he was very active and creative. There's the difference.
Celebratory goal, all right.
Lautaro Martinez, his 17th cap. He's been scoring it better than a goal every other game clip. Had a couple of chances, more than a couple, against Brazil. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, it wasn't just that. There was the overall play in every capacity. It was so impressive.
Nice by Laxalt. An engine that never stops. Suarez lays it back, trying to dummy it through. Betancourt might have just gotten an errant touch. Here's Agüero. Argentina getting it back in play quickly.
Dybala did nothing wrong. Very few situations where he cost his team anything in possession. Dangerous player, good performance by him.
Well, the sports writers say the same. Our side. Betancourt again gets a second chance on the Suarez touch. Viña for Laxalt. Lozano, who with the insertion of Laxalt has slid more centrally. Still 4 substitutes left for Argentina, 3 for Uruguay if they wish. Nice. Oh, just offside. Lozano with a good idea, but he hadn't paid attention to Pezzella in the middle.
There'll be some talk going on that plane ride back to Barcelona between Suarez and Lionel Messi ahead of the game on Saturday against Leganés at 7 o'clock in the morning here on beIN Sports. Who's going to take the free kicks?
Dominguez blasted by Lautaro after the settle, but the wall was already built. Early start this weekend. Might want to start the coffee now. There's another change for Argentina as Paredes exits. And Nico Gonzalez comes in, taking out a holding midfielder and sticking in the Stuttgart forward.
Nice, brave, bold move by Scaloni. And giving them the opportunity to risk forward play. Certainly the right way to go about it in these international friendlies.
Third cap for Gonzalez. Chance from distance is Lozano looking for some insurance. Messi sneaks it through. Agüero threads it forward. Lautaro begging for it in the middle, but Gonzalez forced wide. And Godin all over him. Now it's Rodrigo de Paulo. On his right foot. Tagliafico on his left brings it back. 4 blue shirts in the box, but they are well covered. Cutting it too fine, Saravia. Otamendi heading it wide. Player down behind the play, and Reinshreiber blows the whistle. It's Torreira who seems to be cramping up.
I don't know. I didn't want the cramp reaction we usually see in a player. He was waving his teammates off.
They came to see Messi, but his teammate taking center stage. And you're right, normally you'd see them push that toe back, the stretch, but they're checking more the joint, it appears. Emery looking on a bit nervously. Mentioned President looking in. Why not?
The wall.
And just take a look at the brain trust that Scaloni has with him. Germán, Pezzella, and Walter Samuel. All four of them actually have something that they could do, especially the three assistants. They could be doing something else, but they've all come together for the national team. And it seems to be paying off, but not tonight. Inside, Gonzalez, this time from the left, it'll get the corner.
I think you're saying that, Phil, on the scoreline, it's not going that way, but anybody that's been watching Argentina over the last year or so know that this team is certainly re-emerging.
Of course, they will be a host. Notice a host, not the host, for the Copa America this coming summer, because it will be split in two cones, the north in Colombia, the south, and the final in Argentina. So you'd have to figure, especially with those knockout stage games in the friendly surroundings, and especially the way they played this year under Scaloni, they have to be one of the favorites. Although Uruguay haven't beaten themselves in 2019, especially if this holds, might have something to say about it. Suarez stretching, and then knocks out with a little bit of a clatter. The wave making its way around. You'd think there might be something better to do if you spent that money for the ticket. Now keep an eye on this guy. Poked free,
Tackle.
no foul. Nice try by Betancourt. From Messi, one touch for Agüero, whacked away Godin. Suarez almost sneaks it down the line. Laxalt does well. Tries to go around and does. Dominguez couldn't stop. Now Uruguay. Bending ball, but well anticipated. Andrada. Gonzalez, and he didn't catch it clean. Good look at Oscar Washington Tavares, keeping his powder dry.
Dress rehearsal before it gets properly serious, and these fans have really loved every minute of this closely contested battle. Argentina on the receiving end of magic from Suarez.
December starting out with the Copa America draw. They know they're going to be grouped, but now they'll find out when they will face each other again. And then World Cup qualifying also on the docket in March. Agüero keeps it alive.
Well,
gets it back from Dominguez. Now Rodrigo bypasses Messi. Lifting it into the 18. Tagliafico inside, but good cover by Giovanni Gonzalez. All defender thrown into the fire after the injury to Coates, and has done well. Messi with a burst of speed, but even quicker Juventus man Betancourt. Now Laxalt.
Tooth and nail over the throw in, and sums it up.
And it's a friendly. Dominguez out wide. Messi finding a path and then making his own. Messi low, loose at the 18. Argentina gets it back. Relentless from the Albiceleste. Nico Dominguez caressing Nico Gonzalez. Minutes plus added time. Rodrigo. Godin reads it well. Suarez extends himself. Soft feet. Alvecino. And down goes Suarez. Whistle. Like another change getting set to check in, and it's going to be for Uruguay. Brian Lozano's day is done, and it will be Brian Rodriguez checking in. Taking out the winger, sticking in the forward. 3 goals for Uruguay. Meanwhile, Rodriguez checking in for Rodrigo de Paul. Will step in front of that back line, allowing Paredes to push.
Good play.
Finds Agüero, would have been offside, has to hold on, and now a whistle as he was impeded. Messi. Pulling it back the other way, Martinez. Dominguez. Taking the scenic route to Tagliafico. Gonzalez fakes, drives, tries to dish, but Cáceres was there. Holding on, Martinez, player down behind, forces it into the middle, and Godin sweeps it away. Cáceres. Actually,
Gonzalez. Martinez does brilliantly well here and fighting for this ball. A good old-fashioned battle royal going on prior to this, and then little tenacity. All the way through again. Oh. They've tried everything, Phil, to open up the lock of this team, and the width has been there. Penetration through the middle.
There's another chance, but this time Campagna stands strong. Agüero denied.
He just doesn't get the angle that he wants. It's straight at Campagna. Wonderful ball played into El Kun. Tremendous header. Just unfortunately not get that 2 degrees of separation between the header and Campagna.
Cross leaves a bit to be desired. Headed away. They'll take it at the flag. Into the middle. Flipped alive. Handball call. And it will be a second chance thanks to an errant handball.
It's coming into Lautaro Martinez, and it's a good ball played into him, and it looked like it was a certain handball in lifetime. Comes up, and it's onto Cáceres right here. Martinez gets the touch on. They're saying it's coming off of his chest. I'm not so sure at all. It comes off of his arm. It's a nailed-on penalty, and Leo steps up. He missed against Brazil, but he followed up. And Martin Campagna, the Independiente man, stands in between.
Messi looking for the 70th goal of his career. 12 paces away from tying this game at 2. Campagna couldn't get out of the way. Now let's see what Messi can do. Rolls it home. Campagna leaned left and couldn't get back in time.
Well, it's the biggest roar of the night. This is what they came to see. But it's not the magic of Messi, it's the coolness of Messi here. Cool as a polar bear's toenails with the finish. Sends Martin Campagna the wrong way and puts him out of the stadium completely. The audacity of hardwired brilliance from Lionel. Wonderful slot away from a proper penalty given by this referee, and probably a fair scoreline given the whole ins and outs and ups and downs of this game. Messi stands up to the pressure again and thanks his grandma.
Away. Is there a winner in this one? The goal in the 92nd, only about 2 or 3 minutes to go.
Slight favoritism around this stadium for the number 10. The announcer mentioning Messi's name at least a dozen times there.
Gonzalez not liking the attention and swinging out, and now things starting to boil over. Who said they don't care about exhibitions?
Brothers at arms in the club level and ferocious enemies on the battleground, as you said, Phil. These are players that take it more than just a paycheck and more than just a representation, is something special in the Charrua spirit and the Albi Celeste and truly all of the South American continental teams. They're just international teams. The way they pride. You know, both these national teams, their flags have got the sun on them. Argentina and Uruguay, and certainly the sun has shone here today in this magnificent stadium in the way of football. What a super duper game it has been.
Gonzalez carded. I think the referee was going to give another card to Diego Godin just to try and make things fair, but Godin already with the caution and he didn't want to eject him. Another collision in the midfield. Uruguay finding the accelerator. Laxalt with about a minute left. All off the heels of Viña. And Dominguez. 21-year-old launching it long. Agüero. Cáceres took a hit. Couldn't get his hand out of the way. And again, with the new rules, basically, again, intent minimized. Is he making his body bigger? And the arm was away. So no real argument. And Messi takes advantage from the spot.
And again, Lautaro Martinez showing up and leaving his fingerprints on this game. And he's running to the box to invite that pass from wide. And certainly to get the touch that found the unfortunate Cáceres.
And that will be the final burst of the whistle. 2-2 in Tel Aviv. Argentina and Uruguay share the spoils. Well, the superstars got their goals. Respect on the sideline.
Yeah, a great game of football here on beIN Sports. A friendly exhibition game of the highest order, played out in front of a wonderful crowd. They saw four magnificent goals in their own way and of their own nature, and thoroughly entertained. And man, what a good battle royal this game was.
Well, the game saw goals from Cavani, equalized by Agüero, and then Suarez and Messi counter in the second half. 2-2.